class, and welcome to Lesson 7. This is rational numbers and the coordinate plane. As you can see, we have a lot of vocab today, but let's start with our objective. I can plot and order pairs of rational numbers, rational numbers by crawling then walking. So let's see what that means. And I'm going to go through each of these vocab words and then show you an example of each. So let's start with a coordinate plane. A coordinate plane is a plane formed by a horizontal line and a vertical line. So a horizontal line and a vertical line. And the x-axis is our horizontal line. And the y-axis is our vertical line. So to make up a coordinate plane, you have the x-axis, which is a horizontal line, and the y-axis, which is a vertical line. Reminder, horizontal means straight line, like a horizon. See, the horizon is this line. And vertical is up and down, because vertical has an L in it. I don't know what else to tell you to remind you for the vertical. Well, maybe that it looks like a V. Vertical has the big V. And then our origin we have the origin, which is a point where the x-axis and the y-axis intersect. So right where they intersect. So kind of like where x marks the spot is the origin. Next we have an ordered pair, which an ordered pair is a pair of numbers that can be used to locate a point. So just a point on a coordinate plane. Now we have an x coordinate is the first number in an ordered pair that tells you to move left or right. So it is the x coordinate, so it's on the x-axis. X coordinate and x-axis go together. So you're moving left and right because you're on the horizontal line. Whereas the y coordinate is on the y coordinate is the second number in an ordered pair that tells you to move up or down. And the y coordinate goes with the y-axis because it's going up and down. So like a vertical goes up and down, the y-axis is vertical, so it goes up and down. So the y coordinate is on the y-axis. So those go together. So let's talk about each point on a actual coordinate plane. So take a moment to draw a coordinate plane. You don't have to have all of the extra little graph lines right here. You can just draw, this is our y-axis and your x-axis. So you can just draw that and then label. So basically just start by drawing a number line, and this would be 0. And then label it. I usually go till 10, and then same this way. And then down the middle where 0 was, you draw another line, and then label going up. So this whole thing is what? It's our coordinate plane, which I believe we highlighted in light blue. And now our x-axis is this horizontal one. This is our x-axis. So I'm going to write an X here. And then our y-axis is our vertical line. Right here. This is our y, so let me label the y. Now we have our origin, which is where these two meet. So our origin is right here. And then we have an ordered pair, so let's do an example of an ordered pair. We'll do example 3 and 2. So this is what an ordered pair looks like. So this is our ordered pair, these two together. And our x coordinate is 3. So that's going to tell us where to go on our x-axis, going left and right. So this first number is going to tell you to go left or right. And our second number is the y-coordinate. So this will tell us to go up and down. And when you plot it, so if we were to plot it on our coordinate plane, so I need to crawl first. So I'm going to crawl over one time. This is 1, 2, 3, and I'm at 3 now. So I crawled first to 3 and then I walked up to 2. And now I need to plot that point, and we'll call this point A. So go over 3 and up 2. And this is point A, which is 3, 2. All right, so my x-coordinate is 2. So I'm going to start by moving over to -2. No, it's not -2, it's +2. So I'm going to start by moving to 2. Start at my origin and move to 2. And then my y-coordinate is -1/2. So I'm only going to go down 1/2. Because one whole negative would be at that line. So it would be right here. I'm going to label it A. And that's my answer. All right, here are my steps. So step 1 is to draw and label a coordinate plane. So this time I'm going to draw one for you guys. So I like to start by drawing my x-axis first. And I should have little arrows because it's a number line that goes on and on. And then I take an educated guess. That looks like the middle, I'd say. Yeah. And then I draw my line from there. This is my y-axis. And I have to draw the arrows because they go on and on. And then I'm just going to, I like to do 1 to 10, but it depends on the number. So I just like to do 1 to 10 as a general. I'm definitely not going to fit 10 in with this spacing. Or whatever fits in works. But I always try to mirror whatever I have. So this one I should try to get a -7 in like I did on the positive side. Even if it means I have to go over a little bit. And then it's always easier on the y-axis because we have the lines of the paper to conveniently give us perfect spaces. All right. So I have done step 1. I've drawn and labeled a coordinate plane. Now step 2 is to start at the origin. Well, first, let's see what our plot is, because the whole idea is that we're plotting a number. And in this one, we'll do -5, -6. So I need to start at the origin, which, remember, our origin is right here in the middle. All right, so I'm starting at the origin, and step 3 is to crawl first. So before you can walk, you have to crawl. And some of you may have heard this trick before, but it's just a reminder that you have to go on the x-axis, because when you crawl like a little kid, they crawl first right on the floor horizontally. And then when you walk, you're not walking up, right? But you're walking standing up. So you crawl and then you walk. So move on the horizontal line left and right, or left, right, or left, whichever way the coordinate pair tells you to go. So, and this should be coordinate pair. Oops. So move on the horizontal line, right or left, the number of times the x coordinate is in the coordinate pair. So remember, our x coordinate is -5 in this case. It's the first number. So I'm going to go to, on the negative, going to crawl to -5. And step 4 is then to walk. So I'm going to be moving up and down. So from the new position on the x-axis, so I start on the last one, I started at the origin. Now I'm going to start somewhere on the x-axis, wherever I ended up on the last step. So I ended up here at -5 on my last step. So wherever from the new position on the x-axis found in step 3, move up or down the number of times in the y-coordinate is in the coordinate pair, not coordinate plane. So let's start by looking at our y-coordinate, and our y-coordinate is -6. So it's negative, so I know I'm going to be moving down. Just like here, I knew I was moving left because it's negative. And instead of starting at the origin, I'm starting where I left off, at -5. So I left off at -5, so now I need to go down to -6. And you can see here's -6 on the y-axis, or on the y-axis, and it's aligned with where I am now. So I went over 5, down 6. And I'm going to leave a dot there. Oh, I'm going to put a dot here and label it, which would be position A. Well, it's going to be A now. All right, let's try some examples. All right, here is example 1, and it is to graph -0.5 and 0. So let's start by looking at our x-coordinate, and our x-coordinate, we need to crawl first. So here's our x-coordinate, and it's -0.5. So I'm going to start at my origin, which is right here where they intersect, and I'm going to crawl to half, because it's 0.5, which is right here. And then my y-coordinate is 0. So I'm going to go nowhere. If it's 0, I don't move. So my final plot is right here. And let's label it B. So that's my final answer. If one of the coordinates is 0, then you don't move, because these are like directions, or it's like we're coding. You have to input something to do something. So in the first one, I input on the x-axis, I input negative 0.5. So I had to move to 0.5, negative 0.5. If there's a 0, I don't do anything. So I just plot my point. All right, let's do another. All right, as you can see, I labeled my coordinate plane a little differently this time. I skipped a line because we're dealing with fractions, so it's easier for me just to skip a line. And I don't need as many numbers if the numbers themselves don't even go that high. 2.5, I don't need to have 10 lines and barely fit in the half. Rather give myself some space. So I'm going to start at my origin, which is here. And I'm going to go to positive 2.5. So I need to move my x coordinate. So here's to 2, here's a half. And now according to my y, I need to go up to 3/4, which is bigger than a half. So let's go up to here. I'm going to graph that and do a point right here. It's more than half, but it's less than 1. And it's point C. And that is it. I will see you at your designated meeting time. Bye, guys.